Hey, baby. So, one thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the general cost of starting a bank account in the Philippines because it costs money to have a minimum initial deposit that has to be maintained for the life of the bank account, or some serious penalties are incurred if you go under your balance on a monthly basis. There's also the cost of writing a check. We're going to talk about dollar accounts and we're going to talk about peso accounts. And the cost of writing a check from your American bank account into your Philippines bank account. We're going to talk about those service fees. And we're going to talk about service fees for, let's say, an ATM machine that's associated with your bank in the Philippines that has no money. And let's say there are no serviceable ATMs from your bank. You can use anybody's bank. You can use any ATM machine. However, the penalties are severe. So we're going to go through this by the numbers. What it costs, what 3 banks I did business with, and what 2 of those 3 banks I would suggest you stay away from for 2 different reasons. I have my reasons, but both of the banks were being unreasonable considering how much money I had in their bank, and both of them were being unreasonable to simple requests that I had until I found a bank that can work with you, or at least doesn't penalize you in ways that the other 2 do. So I see I have a comment somewhere. I can't see who it is because I'm working
What
on.
sets them apart?
Oh, that race car is very noisy, but not quite as noisy as that concert at the ICM Mall yesterday. That was some noisy stuff. Scott Del Fuego was in the house. Thanks for stopping by, Scott. An electric shock travels round the world. Fighters in Gaza stop to observe. Pilots land their crafts to listen, and ship captains summon the mate and retreat to their cabin TV. Fazio is live in the Philippines, baby. So I'm gonna give you a lot of information. Thanks, Scott. He was wordsmithing there. Maybe a little bit of hyperbole and maybe some exaggeration, but sure looked good on paper, yeah? So I want to go over I will tell you which banks I won't do business with and why momentarily. But the first thing, let's just pretend that we're setting up a bank account in the Philippines. The first thing that you're going to need, it's going to be required, is you're definitely going to need a valid passport, valid for at least 6 months before it expires. That's not an option. The second thing that you're going to need is that you have to be in the Philippines for a certain amount of time. Now, I don't know if they've changed that, but when I applied for a bank account in 2014, they would not give me a bank account. I wasn't here quite a year. I don't remember what the requirement was, but you just can't come to the Philippines and set up a bank account. You have to have your passport with a stamp on it for the day you entered the Philippines. And then you also need an ACR, Alpha Charlie Romeo card, which I don't have to show you. You know what a passport looks. Because I had to give my ACR card, and in case those of you who are wondering, they have not had ACR cards for 3 years, since before COVID. So if you wanted to start a bank account and you don't have an ACR card, they won't start a bank account for you, even if your passport says that you've been in the country long enough. And you can't get an ACR card until you apply for it. And now it's going to be 3 months before they get the ACR card. But it could be 4, and it may very well be 5 months. So I am now waiting for my my driver's license. Now I'm going to be waiting. They laughed about this. Where is my driver's license application? Here it is. Here it is right here. I'm waiting now for a driver's license. The man laughed when he said to me, I said, when will I get my driver's license? He started laughing. He was afraid. He was embarrassed to tell me. I have it, but I have a copy of a copy. So I have a printout for my driver's license. This is what they gave me for a driver's license. Okay, this is my driver's license. So they gave it's a piece of paper that you have to carry with you when you drive, and then it's signed, and then they told me that they won't have the actual card for approximately, and he said 6 months to a year. So I said, in other words, more than a year? He says that he started laughing, yes. So the ACR cards, the last time I applied for an ACR card was in 2019. I never got it. I never got it. So I had to use my old ACR card for the last 4 years. They do charge you every 2 years, but there was no ACR card. So if you have come to the Philippines and you apply for an ACR card, you may or may not be able to get it to start a bank account, but you need an ACR card. Next thing that you need is you also need 5, okay, so you need a passport and a valid current ACR card. If you don't have those two, don't bother, because it's 2 or 3 hours of paperwork to fill out. And that's with the bank employee helping you. If they sit down with you and help you, you're going to be out of there in 2 hours. They are going to fill out 27 pages of information and cards, little oak tag type cards about this big, 3x5s. There's going to be 6 of those. And then there's going to be 21 more pages of information. Some you fill out, some the bank fills out. 27 pages. That takes 3 hours if you do it yourself, because you have to keep asking, what should I put here? What should I? And if you make a mistake, you cannot erase it, and you cannot white out anything. You have to. It's 3 hours, a passport, and your ACR card. Now, if you have to go to the bank to set up a bank account, I suggest you do 3 things. You buy lunch or your snacks. If you go, this is crazy what I'm going to tell you. Once you start filling out your paperwork for BPI, Bravo Papa India, once you start filling out your paperwork, if you tell them you want to go have lunch because it's lunchtime, they tell you no, sir. You cannot leave until your paperwork is complete and the bank manager signs off your paperwork. I don't understand that rule at all. I don't understand that rule. The paperwork has to be complete for BPI, which I don't do business with anymore, never will, and I will suggest it's more trouble than it's worth, the BPI branch of the Philippines banking system. I would suggest you stay away from that, and I'll give you 5 valid reasons in a few minutes. But when I filled out the application, and hey, One Lonely Farmer, Wes, it just popped up. Good morning, Wes. I've been watching you make corn. You're an amazing man. Putting that wet dryer, the wet corn tank, and 33 feet of augers from one tank to the other, and standing up on top of the dryer and telling everybody how dangerous it is, but they don't understand how dangerous farming is. Farming is a dangerous business. So, Scott, if you would get Wes's, I could do it. Let's get Wes. Yeah, that was an amazing system. And then you still have to put the angle bar for the supports in the middle of the augers. I watched the whole thing. You're going to add 5 more rings or rungs to your tanks and add another 33,000 bushel tank. You're an amazing man, Wes. Let's go. Let's get Wes, One Lonely Farmer. Let's get him. Let's get his channel. We'll show this to you. I don't know why. Let's take a look here. Get Wes's channel up here. And then we'll go back to banking in the Philippines. So this is Wes, One Lonely Farmer's channel. And he is the hardest working man in the Philippines genre. He's married to a beautiful woman named Teresa. And they have a son, William. That's William there, who's about 5 years old now, getting close to 5 years old. And William is turning out to be quite the young man. He has an opinion. He wants things. He knows where things are. Yeah, Wes. So this is Wes, One Lonely Farmer, and this is his newest mobile type. It's a 12 rake. It's a 12 rake machine that goes through 12 rows of corn, and you put these things down into the corn, and then this part of it, this is the most amazing machine. It takes the corn off the stalk and then takes the corn off the husk. And I don't know how it does it. And it does it with all automatic. And at the end of the product, it turns it into a product that comes out of a chute. And I don't know where that chute is, but it comes out of those big shoots out of a chute, and then they fill up a tank with that. So let's go back over here. This is the big chute it comes out of, and then they fill up a bin, and then they drive it over to the tank. Right. Wes is talking about the bank account. So yeah, so let's get back. Wes does all his own work on all his own equipment. He's an amazing man. So Wes is saying it took him 2 days to set up a bank account. And I believe that because it took us, well, I didn't have everything I needed once when I went to a bank. So, plus it takes 3 hours to fill out the paperwork. I'm not sure why it took Wes 2 days. But it's a long, tedious process. So this is One Lonely Farmer's link and his page, in case those of you would like to subscribe to watch. This man buys his equipment mostly used, something that's fixer-uppable, a fixer-upper, and then he puts all new in it. And the prices of some of the things that Wes puts in his equipment, $3,700 for a drive shaft, or a drive shaft coupling between two, for like something that's 3 or 4 feet long with a universal on each end, or $1,700 or $2,700 for a drive shaft about 2.5 inches in diameter. It's an amazing amount of money goes into farming, and that's why food costs so much. So she had to grease some wheels to get that done. We don't live there, so we didn't want. That's right. Ah, okay. Mr. Bill. Hey, Bill. I was going to say hello to you. I saw you on another page. I thought it was you yesterday, and I just didn't have time. I was on my way to the bank, as a matter of fact. But my bank is a great bank. We're going to get to that momentarily. So if you don't live in the Philippines, now Wes is bringing in another complication. As I previously stated before Wes came onto the channel, and thank you for taking the time, Wes, to stop by. As I previously stated, I had to live here for a certain amount of time before they give me the bank account. Even now, so what I had to do every time I wanted money was go to an ATM machine and pay $22. Or I would bring something back, but in cash. But you're only allowed to bring a certain amount of cash back to the Philippines. So that's a little bit complicated as well. I could tell you how to do that, but then I would be telling you how to do something you shouldn't be doing, but far be it from me. So now you have to have your passport, your ACR card. You have to live here for a certain amount of time. And now you go into the bank and you fill out an application. And then the bank manager has to sign that. It takes 3 hours. Now, I did this with BPI. Well, I'm using BPI because I'm telling you never to use BPI. I would never use BPI. And I'm going to give you 5 valid reasons why not to. One of them was when Daisy and I wanted to go out and have lunch, they would not let us leave the bank. I said to them, but I'm hungry. Sir, you cannot leave the bank. So we couldn't leave the bank until the paperwork was signed. That's ridiculous. I'm going to go across. No, sir, you cannot. If you leave the bank, you have to fill the paperwork out again, starting from scratch. So Daisy and I stayed, because she's going to be on the bank account, of course, and she stayed. So now here's this, it gets better. So after we're done, now you need $500 US. Five crisp $100 bills. 5 of them. But the bank who will take your dollars, if you want to deposit dollars in your dollar account, once you get a dollar account, and that's why you're in the bank filling out the application for a dollar account. If you get the paperwork signed off by the manager, then you can go have lunch, and then you have to get 5 $100 bills. But now the bank will take any amount of $100 bills that you have to put in the bank. That's no problem. That's the same for RC. That's any bank. They'll take your dollar bills. But now you want to open up an account. You cannot buy dollar bills from them, but you need 5 crisp dollar bills, $100 bills. So they will tell you to go to a money lender. They won't tell you which one, though. They'll tell you that there are money lenders down that way. And then you go down that way and you ask where the money lender. Now you got to go into a money lender's store. This is to set up a bank account. Unless you have $100 bills. But if you have $100 bills and they're old bills, well, old bills are not new bills, and only new bills you can use for set up an account. They got to be new bills, this year's model or last year's model. If they're dirty, they will not take them. If they have the slightest ink mark or pencil mark on them, they won't take it. If it has a folded corner, like someone dog-eared the corner for some reason, or it has a dog ear on it, they won't take it. If it has a little cut along the edge, they won't take it. You got to go buy crisp, new, flat. It has to be flat. If the bills were in your wallet and they were folded like that, they won't take the bill. If it has a crease in it, they won't take the bill. Because it was in your wallet folded, you made a crease in it, not allowed. So you got to go to a money lender. And the money lender charges you, I think I paid $7 per $100 bill for 5 $100 bills. And they would really appreciate it if they were consecutive serial numbers. I don't know why, but they asked me to bring back 5 $100 bills in consecutive numbers. So I did. This is BPI, which I would never use again. Never, ever. And I'm going to give you 5 valid reasons why I would never use BPI again. I may as well give you one. The first one is they wouldn't let Daisy and I go out for lunch while the paperwork was being signed off. And then once the paperwork was signed off, they sent us out of the bank to go get 5 $100 bills. However much sense that made. And by the way, it has to be done in a certain amount of time. We had to do our paperwork in 1 day. I think that's why I had to come back. There wasn't enough time to do it on the first day. But we went weeks later. Okay, so the second reason I wouldn't use BPI is because, number 2, they don't have what they call a courtesy line for handicapped or senior citizens, or what they call a gold account. They don't have that. So you can wait in a BPI bank. This is the second reason why I would never use BPI. In the ICM Mall, there's a BPI account on the main floor. You can wait 3 hours in the bank, sitting on a cushion with a number. Or you can take a number and then come back later. If it's a long line, you can theoretically wait 3 hours or more, number 1. Number 2, if it's a long line, you can leave and go shopping, and then you can come back, and if your number was called, you're first up. That's their plus. But there's no courtesy line, there's no gold member card in BPI, and they have other restrictions. Those are 2 reasons why I would never use them. The third reason is, once before, I filled out an application in the BPI bank. And I filled out the whole application, and I got there at 10 o'clock in the morning. This is before I went there. And I filled out the whole application, which took 3 hours for me to fill it out. And the girl, the customer service woman, let me fill it out. She gave me the paperwork. She helped me fill it out. And when I filled it out, I said, "Ma'am, I'm done." She goes, "Okay, you're going to have to wait a while. There's nobody to sign off your paperwork." Now, I wanted to use BPI because it's in the ICM Mall. And I didn't really want to go to another bank that was outside the ICM Mall. Plus, there's a BPI near the BQ Mall, which I would never use BPI Bank ever again. And I'm going to give you 5 valid reasons. I'm going to give you the third one now. So I filled out this paperwork, Daisy and I, and then there was no customer service agent that could sign off the paperwork. And she said, sir, there's no one here. I waited about 2 more hours. And then I said, well, I'll come back tomorrow. And she says, okay. And she took my paperwork. And when I went back, maybe it might have been the next day. I think it was the next day. I believe it was the next day. She said, sir, we have to fill out the paperwork again. I said, why? She goes, because it has yesterday's date. I said, I just spent 3, yes, sir. You have to fill it out again. So I walked away from the bank. That's the third reason, because the girl knew there was no the girl at BPI knew there was no customer service representative in the bank to sign my paperwork. Not only was there no customer service representative in BPI to sign my paperwork, but there wasn't going to be a customer service representative to sign my paperwork that day. That person was off. So they let me fill out paperwork for 3 hours. And I still went back to them again because it was a convenient place to have banking across the street from BQ and in the ICM mall. So months later, we went back and filled out the paperwork. Now, a 3-hour wait is unreasonable, but they give you a number, you can come back. But that means you have to stay in the city if you don't get there first thing in the morning. But you can get there first thing in the morning at BPI at 8 o'clock, sit in the number 1 chair, and then you're sitting there. So you got to be there at 8 o'clock or 7:30 to be in the bank at 9 o'clock. So that's an hour and a half that you have to wait to get into the bank to be number 1. That's the 4th reason. The 5th reason to never use the BPI bank is because 90% of the time when I went to go get money out of their ATM machine that said BPI on a Saturday or a Sunday, they don't have money in the ATM machine. So you have to use your BPI debit card in the credit card machine. And that means you have to pay $22 for each BPI transaction through their credit card. So if there's no money in the BPI bank ATM machine, and then you have to use your BPI debit card as a credit card, or use your credit card to get money, you pay $22. Same thing. So I had to use my BPI debit card or my credit card 4 times in one day. 4 times in 1 week. Because of COVID, there was no money in the machines. So I figured, well, it's not a big deal. They'll reimburse me for my $88, but they would not. So when COVID ended, I went into the bank. This is a long time after that we filled out the application, maybe a year. And I went into the bank and I said, I have 4 debits from my debit card for $88. I want you to reimburse me. They said no. I said, well, can I see a manager? They said, yes. So the manager comes downstairs, upstairs, downstairs, and he says to me, what's the problem? I said, the problem is I have 4 receipts here for debits from your machines because your machines were empty when COVID was on. This is BPI. This is why I would never use BPI. BPI, how you doing? Your executive branch over there in Tagbilaran. So the fellow says, well, sir, you had a choice. I said, what choice did I have? All of your BPI machines were empty at the bank, at your locations. When I used my debit card at ICM for BPI, it would not allow me to use it. I had to use my debit. Here's 4 receipts for $88. Will you reimburse me for my $88? No, sir. I said, why not? And the fellow says, because you had a choice, sir. You could have gone to Cebu to get that money. I said, well, it was a Saturday, and the banks are closed on Cebu. Yes, sir, but our machines in Cebu had money in them. I said, so I would have to go to Cebu and pay $20 for a boat there and $20 back. Yes, sir. And then I'd have to stay in a hotel overnight till Monday, so I could take out the money that I wanted, which was about 54,000 pesos, I think it was. Yes, sir. So it would cost me 2 nights in a hotel and 2,000 pesos for a round trip. Yes, sir. So it would cost me more money if I went to Cebu. Yes, sir. I said, well, what kind of a choice is that? He goes, well, at least you would have had your money because our bank was closed. I said, I tell you what, give me my money. Sir, are you sure you want? Yes, I'm. Put it in a bag. Go get my money. Put it in a bag. Sir, are you sure can we talk you out of it? No, you cannot talk me out of this. You cannot talk me. Put my money in the bag. Here's my bank book. Thank you very much, BPI. You will get a review. And that was 2 years ago. This is their review. So he goes, sir, are you sure you want to carry this? Put the money in the bag, please. Put the money in the bag. Go. Well, they did. But they said, what can we do to make you not take the money out? I says, you can give me the $88, put it in my hand. Sir, we can't do that. I said, then put the money in the bag. So this is what you're up against. You're up against, and I had more money in the bank than you want to know about. Okay? So this is what you're up against, number one. Number two, I will never use BPI again. Now, the next bank I went to, I put in that money. And I went through the 3 hours of 3 hours of filling out the paperwork. And they didn't do the same thing, but there was no courtesy line. And again, you'd have to wait 2 or 3 hours in the bank. I don't want to wait 2 or 3 hours in the bank. The people in the Philippines are very placid. They're unbelievably docile, these people. They go to the bank, they sit in the bank, they sit in a chair at the bank and they look at the wall. They're good with that. I'm not good with that. So I waited and I said to them, look, I really don't want to wait on this long line. Yes, sir. We suggest you come here at 8 o'clock in the morning and then you wait online and you could be first, sir. I said, you know what? We're done. But it wasn't just for that reason. The 3 hour wait, I take a number, I come back 3 hours later. So I go to use my debit card and it doesn't work. Rcbc. 3 months I argued with the manager of the RCBC bank for 3 months that my debit card will not work. Yes, sir. What do you mean, yes, sir? Come back next week. We will take care of this issue. You bring them back the card, and they say, we don't have a response from our credit card office yet. I said, but my credit card doesn't work when I want to use my debit card at Build-A-Wear or the supermarket. Yes, sir, we'll get that fixed for you. For 3 months. They never got it fixed. Ever. So I gave them my credit card. I said, here's the credit card. Send it to Cebu. See if they could. So they sent it to Cebu. And Cebu says there's nothing wrong with the debit card. Theoretically, they couldn't use it without my PIN, but they checked it. They sent it back. It didn't work. I said, give me my money. Sir, is there anything? No, there's nothing you could do. You can't reimburse me for my time, and you're not going to fix my debit card. And I asked you for a new debit card 3 months ago, but you won't give me a new debit card, so give me my money. At that point, Mr. Bill is here. Penalties, he means. Penalties, we'll talk about penalties in a moment. And Lane, Jim Alver, thanks for stopping by. You have to remember to bring a packed lunch. You need, that's right, Jim. So now, Rcbc is sitting there arguing with me why I shouldn't take my money from the bank. It's air conditioned. It's an air conditioned bank. That was their argument. So now I take that money and I go to a different bank. I've never had a problem with the bank I do business with now. So now let's answer Ann's questions. None of those issues ever occurred. And always their ATMs are full. Always I get the best service. Always never had a problem. But I had a problem 2 weeks ago that I'm going to talk about, the third bank. And this is part of the mentality of the people in the Philippines is you're rich, you are rich. You're a foreigner, you're rich. We can take a service fee from you without offering you the option of not taking a service fee from you. Because you're stupid, we will take that $4 service fee from you because you didn't ask how to avoid the service fee. You didn't ask what the service fee was for. You just paid it because we asked for the service fee. That'll never happen again. But I'll tell you what the service fees are. So now, if you have less than $500 US in your dollar account, you pay $7.50 a month for a penalty. If you have less than 3,000 pesos in your peso account, you pay $6 a month for penalties. So you can take the money out of your dollar account, but you pay $7.50 a month for a penalty. If you can go down to 3,500 pesos in your peso account. It won't come out of the ATM, though. You got to go into the bank for that. So this is a big problem coming up with all three banks, by the way. It's all ready. Get ready for the big one. This is the big one coming up. So now I've not had this problem, but I'm just giving you the prices. So if you go into the bank, let's say you need money and you don't have dollars in your dollar account, you can take out that last 3,500 pesos, but you have to pay $6 penalty. And if it stays vacant for 2 months, they close the account. You have to fill out the paperwork again. Now, here's the big one. Sit down for this. I take a check. I take this check here. This check right here. I take a check right here. This check. I take this check number 124. I take check number 124. 122. I take check number 122. I put it in the bank on January 1st. This is just an arbitrary date. I have to wait all three banks, I have to wait 30 days for the money to clear. Business days. So if you put the check in the bank on December 1st, you have to wait 30 business days. You won't get your money until January 13th. December 1st, you deposit the check. January 13th, you'll get your money because you have 5 weekends, that's 10 days, and then you have Christmas and New Year's, That's 12 days, but you have Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve. That's 14 days. So you put it in December 1st, you get it out January 13th. So they hold your money for 30 business days or 40 days total, or 44 days total. And they collect interest on it. That check goes in the bank, and at midnight, Philippines time, the money's out of your account in America. Out of your account in America. It's gone. Now you ask the bank, where is the money? You know you're not getting the money for 30 days. Hold on. Question, Bill. They basically lend money. They don't have and change interest. Mr. Bill, they basically lend money. They don't have and change interest. Oh, it. I love listening to your rants. We're not done yet ranting. Now, if there's an orange light on the ATM cash dispenser where the cash comes out, there is a fault. Either a cash cassette is empty or some kind of fault. There are 3 indicator lights on the ATM, says Mr. Bill. So now, thank you, Mr. Bill. I have never noticed an orange light, but I will look for an orange light. So typically thank you, Mr. Bill. So now you don't get your money for 38 days. Now, I did not have an argument about this. I said to the bank, where is my money? Where did it go for 30 days? We don't know, sir. That's what they said to me. We don't know, sir. Can you get the manager over here? This was Rcbc. They said, yes, sir. So this was before I took the money out of it. Where does the money go? We don't know, sir. Well, can you find out for me? No, sir. That's a different department. I said, well, are you collecting interest? Let's say you wrote out a check for, I don't know, $1,000, let's just say. So the interest that you lose from your bank in America is not much. We're talking about interest rates here, too. Bend over when it comes to interest rates in the Philippines for a savings account. Just bend over. So, no one will tell you where the money is. They won't tell you if the money is in their bank account or in your bank account on hold. They won't tell you that. They won't tell you where your money. So you wait 38 days. 38 days is typical to get your money. So in the meantime, you wait 38 days for your dollar account money. Now, here is another interesting thing. You go into the bank and your peso account, in order to get money from your dollar account to your peso account, in order to get money from your dollar account to your peso account, you have to have your bank book. They call it a passbook. You have to have your bank book with you. So if you go to the bank and you want to move money from your dollar account to your peso account, they won't let you do it without your passbook. So let's say you need money and you go to the bank and you don't have your passbook. Well, they will let you take money out of your dollar account, but they charge you $4, which is 200 pesos, which is a half a day's pay for a Filipino. So they'll let you take money out of your dollar account in pesos, but they won't let you transfer money to your peso account. So I did that. And I took money out of my dollar account. And the woman said to me, it's 200 pesos. And I wasn't paying attention. I said, take it out of the money that you're giving me. So she took it out. But I found out yesterday, if you take money out of your dollar account, you have to pay a $4 penalty. I said, but why wouldn't she just transfer it? Did you have your passport? No. Okay, so then she wouldn't. You have to have your passport. It's just another way of them getting money. Now, interest on monies. Okay, so interest on savings is 0.025%. So if you have $1,000 in your savings account, you can get 0.025%. So 1% of $1,000 is $10. So you can get $2.50 per year for every $1,000 that you have in the bank. But if you have less than $500, if you have less than that, you don't get any interest at all. Oh, banking in the Philippines is just so much fun. Now, will they give you a credit card? No. No credit card. Unless you have a business and you have an income, and that income comes into the bank every week, and you have a Filipino or a Filipino partner. No credit cards. But the good news is they have 20%. The good news is if you die and you have the service, they have life insurance. So whatever money you have in the bank, I think you can get 20% of the money that you have in the bank for life insurance up to $2,000 if you die. So I think that's what I read it somewhere. You don't get much. But if you die, there's nobody to fill out the paperwork. So they keep the money, they keep the bank account, and they keep your insurance money. I guess. I don't know. So this is the do's and don'ts of banking. So you need to really, if you want to wait online for 3 hours, BPI and Rcbc are your banks of choice. If you want to have some stupid answer, you go to Cebu and spend $40 for transportation and 2 nights in a hotel, another $60, $100, so you can get, I don't know, whatever money that you want out. You can go into the bank on Monday morning too, of course, but I needed the money on a Saturday, and I never did get the thing I wanted to buy because it was too much trouble. I had to wait for COVID to be over. By that time, I found one in a different place. That's not the point. For what I wanted money during COVID cost me $88 to get money for something else that I bought instead. $88 for 4 bank fees, and the reason is because even though I had way more money than I needed for the thing, your maximum that you can take out of the bank is $200, 10,000 pesos. So 4 transactions to do what I wanted to do was $88. Can you raise the limit of what you can take out of the bank? No. So if you want to take out 100,000 pesos in one day, you cannot do that. So you have to plan to take your money out. Now, if you go into the bank, you can take the money out. But if you are at an ATM machine, will they raise your limit? They won't raise your limit on what you can use, take out in cash. They will get, like, for instance, on this bank account, I have a 200,000 peso limit, 4,000 US dollars per day is my limit, 4,000 per day. But you can only take out $200 for a debit, for an ATM debit. So if I wanted to buy something for 199,000 pesos, I can do that, but I can't take out more than, I can take out 500 a day, 200 each time, or 10,000 pesos each time. Banking in the Philippines is just so much. In America, you put your credit card in the thing, you tell them you want this much money, it comes out of the machine, and you're done. Now, if you lose your card, it takes about 35 or 40 days to get a new card. Even though they're only one day away mail-wise, it still takes 35 or 40 days. When you apply for a debit card, it takes 30 or 40 days to get the card. Even though they make the cards in the Philippines, and even though if the paperwork goes to Cebu, they still take 35 or 40 days. I'm not real sure why that happens. And for that, after that, I'm going to go do something so you guys are off the hook for listening to, as Ann said, my rants. Who said that? I love listening to your rants. Hand of Seeds. Hand of Seeds. Scott Del Fuego. A passionate diatribe is not always a rant. If I was ranting, I would be upset. I'm telling you what to look for. I'm not ranting. When they wouldn't give me my $88, oh, that was a rant. I said to the guy, in America, they would give me back my $88. Yes, sir. We won't do that. I said, well, then give me back. That's, sir. We would prefer, you would prefer I don't take the money out of it. I would prefer you, sir, let me explain this to you. If you were a good manager, you would take it out of your pocket. Because for the amount of money that I have in my bank account, you're going to make that an interest in no time, lickety split. Because you're charging 15% for loans. You'll make that in no time. No, sir. It's not my money. I said, well, then give me back my money. Because my money is not your money. No way was he going to. Even the manager of the bank couldn't. I said to him, how much would. No, we will not give you back any money, sir. You had the choice, again, with the choice to go to Cebu. I said, dude, how does this ignorance that you're giving me, verbal ignorance, how does that work out for me? Get dressed, get on a boat, spend 2.5 hours to get to Cebu, between getting to the boat dock and say 4 hours, because you got to wait at the boat. 4 hours, then I get hotel, because it's Saturday, when I wanted the money for that thing. Oh, and at that time, my credit limit in that bank was only $500 a day. So you have to apply for a higher credit rating. So if you don't apply for that and they don't offer that service to you, you have to apply for a higher credit rating to use your debit card. It's just crazy. All right, let's go back. I'm gonna get off of here now. I'm done talking. $40 days. The money is in la. Yeah, it's gone, and no one. Your American. I call up my American bank all the time. Is the money out of my account? Yes, sir. It's out of my account. Yes. What day? The 5th. Came out on the 5th. whatever, just arbitrary came. So on the 5th, I go to the bank in the Philippines, let's just say, where is my money? We don't know, sir. Did the money come into? We don't. Not yet, sir. You have to wait 38 days for your money to clear. It's crazy stuff. Truth in Cebu. Oh, this is trolling at its best. If you have a lot of money in the Philippines and are almost 7 feet tall, you can disparage others. Oh, that's so true, Truth in Cebu. You can disparage others and mischaracterize yourself with impunity. Is that correct? Yes, you can say that you're an upstanding member of the Philippines community, and you can even donate money to several charities to feed children, and you will be looked at as a national hero. Even if you have some questionable characteristics on your character and or character traits. Let's just say, Truth in Cebu, let's just say that someone frequented bars where bar fines were a commonality, Truth in Cebu. If someone was to frequent bars where bar fines are a commonality and frequent the services, now those are some serious fees that you pay in regards to bar fines. Those fees are 30 times banking fees. And for those fees could be much more costly than you want. That's right, Truth in Cebu. You can mischaracterize other people as long as you're given money to feed the children. You can say and do anything you want. Now, if you're of a different persuasion than the typical male-female relationship, if you're of a different mindset than that, you can also be accepted into the community of the different mindset of male-female. And you can talk about same-sex encounters. You might even be prone to talk about men that you know and how tall they are and things like that. Got me going, Truth in Cebu. So, waiting for the sun. What about BDO? I don't know anything about BDO Bank. I've never been in a BDO branch office. Is that true? Wait a second. That might be true. Wait, I have paperwork here. I have banking in a lot of different banks. I think I was in a BDO just 2 days ago. I don't know that I have receipts for that, though. Hold on a minute. I'm not sure. If I'm right about this, this is not the receipt that I'm looking for. I would have to look up BDO Bank. I think BDO, if you're asking me about BDO banks in Bohol, I think that's a commercial bank. I'm going to look that up for you. BDO Bohol banks. I think I was in a BDO. I had to do some commercial banking. It's for the, I could talk about taxes, BDO Bank. Let's go right here. Locations. No, that's something else. I'm not sure. I forgot the name of the bank I was in. That's Tagbilaran, that's Panglau. Okay, let's take a look at that. BDO. There's one. BDO. No, I'm thinking of a different branch. I don't know anything about BDO banks. If you guys are paying taxes, hey, whatever happened to that guy who said he collected all that money and he had a tax receipt, and I went to the tax office. That guy never went to no tax office. He never showed us the tax office receipts, right? Even he could hold his hand over it. He lied. That guy lied to you. He lied to you. He never went to a tax office. So you might want to report him for that. That's up to you. But he never went to a tax office. Because if he did, he would have forms that look like this. He would have a 1701 form. That guy lies about a lot of things, boy. He lied about paying taxes. If he, I'm looking. Here, I got it upside down. He would have. Well, why do I have that upside down? Okay, he'd have a 2551 Quebec quarterly percentage tax. He'd have one of these, a 2551 quarterly, but he never showed it to you because he lied. So if you want to report somebody for income tax evasion in the Philippines, you all know who I'm talking about. If that hasn't happened already. And you're also going to need a 1701 form. Where is my 1701? These are my 25. My 1701. Come on. Here it is. My 1701. 1701 quarterly taxes, for individual. Yeah, so that guy lied. He lied again. He lies a lot. Aside from tomorrow's Sunday show, we're going to talk about men that talk about other men. That's going to be a good show. I expect to see a big participant on that one. So yeah, and not only that, but he lied about paying taxes. And he's collected quite a few $1,000s in taxes that the BIR want to know about. They were more than happy to take the reports. I mean, they would be more than happy to take the reports for tax evasion in the Philippines, collecting money on the internet. That's a job. You have to pay taxes on that. And I don't remember what I paid last time. It's not much. Hold on a second. Where's this paper? How come I can't get this in there? I got to turn this over like that. Yeah, that guy lies a lot. And they lie. That guy lied a lot. He never paid taxes. I don't think he's ever going to pay taxes. But he lied about paying taxes. He never paid any taxes. If he did, he'd have the 2551. Look at all my 2551s. Come on. Look at all the 2551s I got. 2551 going once. 2551 going twice. 2551 going 3 times, 4 times, 10 times, 15 times. I got 2551s and I got 1701s. I got receipts paid. That guy lies a lot. Hello, Coffee House. Thank you for stopping by, and thanks for the thumbs up. Thank you. Okay, so not only that, now they have, if you pay taxes in Bohol, they changed the way individuals pay taxes. I forgot, I don't know what the name of the bank is that I was in the other day, and I don't know where. I don't know why I don't have a receipt for where I paid taxes. I don't know why that receipt. It's not here. Anyway, if you're an individual and you pay taxes, you no longer go to the tax office. You have to go to the bank. It's down the block. It's next to the Chow King, across the street from the BQ Mall. Well, you'll ask your accountant where to go, and the accountant will tell you where to go. Because I don't know why they changed it. They will take your, maybe this is it? No, that's not it. I don't know where it went. No. I have no idea. Anyway, there's a different bank that you go to now. You don't go to the tax office anymore. No longer do you go to the tax office when you pay your taxes for individual. Hey, to that guy who doesn't pay taxes. If they do contact you, don't blame me. Blame one of my subscribers. Okay, so I got to put that away there and that away there. Okay, let's go back to the comments section. Let's look at banks in Tagbilaran. BDO. I would imagine the BDO is the same. I would imagine it's identical, the BDO bank, for the rules, but I never went there. I don't think I've ever been in a BTO. You could go check it out yourself. It's all the same. But the service. See, now, in the bank that I go to, I have the ability to be express, but I don't use that ability. I just sit there and relax. Hey, Sim, thanks for stopping by. What about BDO waiting for the son, Jim? Good news is they address you as sir. Oh, God, they do. You know, my banking agent, I have 2 agents that I do business with. I walk into the bank and they say like this, come to the desk. And I said, no, I sit down and I wait. But they have internet there and I relax, it's aircon. If I'm in a hurry, I'll use the customer gold, whatever they call that, the gold service, they call it, the gold service. They don't give you, they give you, my bank, everybody in the bank gives you 100% service. I've never had to wait. If I didn't want to wait, I can go right ahead, straight ahead, all the way to the front of the line, but I don't do that. And I enjoy talking to the girl greatly. We have so much fun. I gave the girl some for her anniversary, and she got all duded up one day, and I gave the girl some money to go out for dinner with her husband. Oh God, the one problem with that is I think it went through the bank. I think they told other people because, you know. Anyway, I kept it. I kept it on the down low. I said, hey, take your husband out for dinner. It wasn't much. It was enough to take him out to dinner, though. And then now, yesterday, everybody in the bank stopped by to say hello. They were, and there was the offer for me to buy lechon for the family to 2 different people in the bank. That was interesting. It's interesting how they word that. Oh, you have a many money. Yes. You buy lechon. Who am I buying lechon? For my family. For familia. I said, I'm not real sure about that. You're the one that drives the truck, right? Yes, sir. You're the driver. You have the money in the back of the truck. You get the money from the truck. No, sir. You give money for the lechon. I said, why would I give you money for the lechon? You have those bags in the back. You just go back, you take one bill out. No, sir, we cannot do that. I said, well, I'm not giving you money. So if you do give money for her anniversary, if you give them a little something, even you tell them to keep it on the down low, no one saw her get the money. No one. It was slipped under a piece of paper, under a pile of papers on her desk when no one was around. And then yesterday, the next time I went back to the bank was yesterday, everybody wanted money. Not everybody, but everybody came up and said, good, hello. Now, it wasn't a lot of money, but to them, it's a lot of money. So it's a strange place. And no one in my bank in America ever asked me for money, and I had a lot of money in my bank in America. It's a trip living here. It's really trippy. You have many money. Scott Del Fuegos, these aren't even close to a rant. I've heard rants. This is not one. No, I'm not ranting. If I was upset, I would tell you I was upset. What, that $88 that the guy wouldn't give me back, I think I might have made a rant about that about a year and a half, 2 years ago. Calamansi says, Mr. Fazio is not afraid to let his opinion be heard. And don't try to be friends with people that aren't good people. You know, Scott is Calamansi is bringing up a good point. I'm walking down the block yesterday. Okay, and I went shopping for my vegetables, gulai, and my bag runneth over. So the gulai was sticking out of the top of the bag, the vegetables. This is what you have to. You're going to deal with this in the province, maybe in the city as well, but I don't live in the city. Well, that was in the city. The banking people that wanted lechon, they were the officers, the bank, the men that service the trucks and carry the money. Why would I give somebody that carries around 50 pounds of money a day? Why would I give them money? Go take some out of the bag. I'll split it with you. So I'm coming down the block yesterday, and I say hello to everybody. Everybody. Now, if you guys remember, I used to give everybody candy, and on Christmas we gave out gifts. Daisy and I, when she was here, we gave out gifts to everybody. After she left, I still gave out rum and rice and cigarettes and shoes and flip-flops and stuff like that, but no more. It's going on 2 years, 2.5 years, no more. Okay, so the guy says to me, Michael, like, yeah, I thought there was something important that he wanted to talk about. I said, what's up, man? He goes, you give me one. Give you one what? You give me one gulai. One what? One bag. So I have one bag. It's a big bag, though. It's a big bag of gulai. It's 2.5 kilos. You want this? Yes, you give me. Why would... All right. So I'm not in a hurry. I said, why would I give you my gulai? Christmas. I said, Christmas is 3 months from now. No, 2 months. So he knows when Christmas is. But he wants, 500 pesos worth of gulai, because I had calamansi, I had Napa cabbage, just Napa cabbage and calamansi. And then I had something from another store. So that he wants a bag that will cost about 500 pesos. So I said to him, why would I give you a bag of gulay? For Christmas. So I said to him, okay, the Chinese hotel, you can see it from where he's sitting. Yes? You know the Chinese hotel? Yes. What do they give you free? Pasalubong, leave it. Nothing. What about the Korean hotel? What do they give you? Nothing. Pasalubong. No pasalubong, no candy, no soda, no beer, no rum, no cigarettes, no. Only you. You give. I says, okay. Do you, when you go down the block on your motorcycle, on your hobble, do you give me a ride? No. What about the tricycle? No. I said, well, why would I? You give. You have many money. Just get used to that many money, foreigner, give. We take, you give. You give, we take. Get used to it. It's part of the culture in the Philippines. Doesn't matter what you give. It makes no difference what you gave last week. What did you give today? That's the thing that counts. What did you give today? So now I haven't given anybody anything in 2.5 years, and I'm not going to. But they want me to give them 500 pesos of free stuff when they have a tricycle, they have a motorcycle. When they go down the block or go to town, they don't give me a ride. They don't offer me a ride. They don't give a ride. And if I asked them for a ride, they would charge me full price, no matter what I gave them in the past. So now I don't use their hobble, I don't use their tricycle, and I don't ask them for a ride. I give the business to somebody else. So in other words, even though I gave them rum and cigarettes and toys and flip-flops and sneakers to various people, not them sneakers, and their house, that house that I was at yesterday, had 18 people in the house. So each time I went by the house, I gave 18 pieces of candy, twice, 36 pieces of candy, 2 for each person. You know what their solution was? When I said I would walk down the block and I would give them 2 pieces of candy for each person in the house. What about my children? They're coming tomorrow. They would want more. So I said, look, how many people? There's 18 people in your tribe. I'll give you 36 pieces, no more. Wait for it. Are you waiting for it? Okay, so now the lady comes over, really calm voice. This is going back 2.5, 3 years ago. Calm voice. She says, Michael, it's an inconvenience. She speaks in. She's going to smoosh me over. She's going to give me a schmear job. Michael, it's an inconvenience for you to stop every time you come down the block to give candy, because everybody got candy every day, every time, every day. No matter when I came back from the city, I had candy, I gave candy. What you should do is you give us 100 candy. You give us 1 bag. This was their solution, so I didn't have to stop. I could give them 3 times the amount of candy. And then I could only have to give them candy, what, every 2 times or every 3 times? Their solution was for me to bring them bags of candy. So I did not give him my vegetables, my gulay, nor I gave them free electric for 34 days during the Cyclone Odette. I gave everybody free electric. I never, ever once, ever, not one time, ever received a hobble or a tricycle ride from anybody who came with their gadgets. But I did receive 1 free ride from one of the local police officers that knew I gave out free electric. He offered me a ride to Poblacion because he did. I don't know why he did, but he did. So in 9 years that I'm on this block, that I gave out $4,000 plus maybe $5,000 in free stuff. One time, one day, one man gave me a 15 peso ride. So you can give, but you don't expect anything back in return ever. That's just the way it is here. Doesn't matter what you give. So when I was giving out candy every day, 100 pieces of candy every day, they would come to my house, I'd throw candy over the fence, I'd throw it out the window, I would throw it off the balcony. Then the next day I'd go on a ride on their tricycle, and they would charge you full price. Or on the motorcycle, they charge you full price. Give out rum, bottles of rum to the people in the paroque next door. Sandals, 10 pounds of rice in a bag at Christmas time to each person. I'd buy 100-pound sacks and give it away in 2 hours. It would be gone. And the next day you get on a tricycle, they charge you full price. Don't expect anything for free here in the Philippines. If you want to give, you give from the heart. Don't expect anything back. That's a rant. And that's a true story. And when I realized that, after years of giving every day, then I said no more. And then I never gave again. And I don't care if they get upset, because nobody on this block, not another single foreigner has ever given them a penny. Nothing has any foreigner ever given. At the paroque next door, nobody ever got a free bottle of rum or a pack of cigarettes or shoes. I gave that stuff out to them freely, and they give you nothing back in return. So when I asked them, what do the hotels give you on this block for free? Nothing. Why me? Because you have many money. I have more money than an 84-room Chinese hotel that has 11 dive boats and 100 people working for them. I have more money than that hotel, who they get nothing from. This is the mentality of the people. They will schmooze you. They'll try to smooth you out of your money. So, a small amount of money to take a woman and a husband out to dinner, and then all of a sudden I'm a celebrity in a bank. It's a strange place, the Philippines. Having armed guards ask you for pesos to buy lechon for their family when they go home. We prefer you only deposit and not withdraw. Oh, God. Well, I would have left the money there if the guy gave me my $88. Flying circus, thanks, Jim. That's true. It's a true story, too. And the funny thing is, I could back all of this up with bank books. Flying Circus is in here with some wordsmithing. Flying Circus is truth in Cebu. If you're a wealthy giant, let's get Flying Circus, let's get his link up there. If you're a wealthy giant, it's okay to pass the beaver, says Flying Circus. Okay, BDO, this man waiting for the sun says BDO gives credit cards. Are you talking about a credit card or a debit card? Waiting for the sun. I have a debit card, but not a credit card. So a credit card in America, you could go over your balance, and then you pay the credit card off. You might be talking about a credit card. Like I said, I've never been in a BDO bank. I don't need a credit card. I have a credit card. I have a United States credit card. If I want a credit card, that's not the point. The point was at that time that I had wanted money. My credit card had to be mailed to me, and that takes 6 weeks. So BDO, Banco de Oro, gives the credit cards to foreigners. Thanks for that information. Lumbering Giant. Oh boy, we're getting trolled here. I was gonna end the live stream, but being that we have such good troll work here, wordsmithing and troll working and wordsmithing and troll. Lumbering Giant manga with many money. Oh my God, we all know who that is. That's the lumbering giant manga with many money in Cebu. I am paying all sorts of bills and taking care of a guy. He defends me and strokes my big ego. Oh my God, Magnum. That's true. There's a guy, there's a lumbering giant manga with many money that is taking care of another man, although the other man will agree 100% he's being taken care of. Let me just give you a for instance. No, I better not. So, that's a great name, but it could be a little bit more explicit. It should be Lumbering Giant Manga. Wait, let's get this up on the board, because that's a great name. I wish I would have thought of that name. Lumbering Giant Manga with many money in Cebu. I am paying all sorts of bills and taking care of a guy, so he defends me and strokes my big ego. Oh my God, who could that be? That is a trip. What an A, Scott Del Fuego. Coffee House, hello. Can the Philippines prosecute you if you don't pay the required taxes? I doubt that. Well, I'm not sure about that. I don't know that it would be worth their while to do that. But you can report them. That they're okay with reports, but I don't think they'll do anything. Sim Lacron is in the house. I heard a rumor he had all the forms filled out and the forms safeguarded in an empty can of paint. I know where this is going, but he couldn't get the paint can opened to go to pay any taxes. I knew that was going to happen. I knew that guy wasn't going to be able to get into that can of paint. That guy, imagine coming from a family of people that have worked with paint cans for going back 50 and 60 years, and then not being able to figure out a paint can entryway to a paint can. Imagine having paint cans in your family history going back 50 years and then not being able to open up that can of paint. God almighty. Thanks, Sim. Sim is always with the wordsmithing. Always with the word. I heard a rumor he had all the tax forms filled out and the forms safeguarded in an empty can of paint. In an empty can of paint, Sim says. But he couldn't get the paint open to go to pay taxes, says Sim. Sim is being a facetious man. If you are well connected to, now Flying Circus says, if you are well connected, do you still have to pay taxes? Asking for a friend. I don't know. I know that I pay all my taxes. Like for instance, I don't know if I want to show you this window here. Let me take a look. I have a few tax windows open. We don't want to show you that one. I think I'm going to do a show on. I think I'm going to do a show on Sunday. I'm either going to talk about men that talk about other men's parts, body parts, or I might do a show on how to apply for various agencies in the Philippines, but don't expect a reply. You can apply, but don't expect a reply. Because someone asked me about something the other day. There are agencies in the Philippines. I don't want to show you that. There are agencies in the Philippines that don't reply when you send them a reply, a question, a query. It's an amazing place. Paint cans are very challenging things to some, says Scott Del Fuego. Mr. Bill, how about snacks? How about some snacks? Mr. Fluffy's Philippines. Mr. Bill, I'm not sure about the snacks. Is that part of something else? Flying Circus, let's get that link for your channel up there before I go. Mr. Fluffy's Philippines. Don't you love the credit cards at the banks where you have to permanently leave? I don't have a... Okay, hold on a minute. I don't know where this is going. Because I don't have a credit card in the Philippines. I have an American credit card. Don't you love the credit cards in the banks where you have to permanently leave 120% more than the amount of the credit in the account to be able to use the card? I don't have a credit card like that. I have a credit card that I could bang out and just pay them off by the month. Oh, Fish Giant has many money. Oh, Fish. I like to buy off people to bow down to me and make me feel powerful. I like to sit up on my 5th floor deck and look down at all the little people. Uh-oh. I'm running out of data. I have like 10 minutes left of data. I cannot get my phone. I cannot get my phone to work off the internet in my house. I have the iPhone, but it's too late to start that up. So I'm going to have to say goodbye. I brought this Samsung. They have the best camera and the worst phone. So I brought it to Samsung in ICM Mall. I was there twice this week. Yesterday I was there. I didn't go into Samsung. I think I was there Monday, Samsung. I says, I can't get my phone to work off the internet. The woman goes, boom, boom, and it worked off the internet. I came home, it didn't work. So it works on the internet in the Samsung office, in their Wi-Fi internet, but it won't work off my internet here. Even though it did work off my internet 2 weeks ago. Maybe I put my